Her blouse hit the floor. A soft kiss on my shoulder. Jay leaned close to my ear and whispered, "This isn't the first time I've wanted to do this. My name's Linda. I'm 47. I teach high school and live in a quiet house out in the Kentucky suburbs. My husband, George, is a good man, at least by society's standards. He works a lot, doesn't talk much, always tired. It'd been years since we really touched. No fights, just silence. We'd grown cold, like two polite roommates who kept things running but nothing more. Then one night, I got a message on Facebook. "Linda, remember me?" It was Tom, old college friend. He was divorced now, still funny, still a bit wild, and, scarily, he remembered. He remembered I liked old rock music, cheap tequila, and saying yes when I probably should have said no. Tom wrote again. "Jay's coming in next week. Remember Jay? Tall guy, dark hair, those eyes that could burn through steel. We're grabbing a few drinks." "You should come." I looked at George. He was glued to his laptop, earbuds in. I blurted out, "I'm seeing some girlfriends from college next week." He just nodded, didn't even glance up. The motel that night was tucked away downtown. Quiet, plain, the kind of place where trouble goes to whisper. Tom hugged me a little too long. Jay looked at me, really looked. No shame in those eyes. I laughed nervously. We opened wine, turned on some old 90s music, and talked like no time had passed. But I could feel it. Every glance, every pause in conversation. It wasn't just catching up. I crossed my legs, poured another glass. I could feel them both watching, like I wasn't invisible for once. In that moment, I wasn't just somebody's wife. I was a woman. I was seen. I was wanted. Jay stood up, walked over slow. Tom stepped behind me. No words, just eyes, just breath. And I said something that changed everything. "If you take turns, I won't stop you." After that, there was no going back. Tom was the first to touch me. Not rough, not rushed. His hand slid to my waist like it had always belonged there. Jay stood nearby, quiet, watching like a man who knew exactly when to strike. His stare melted what little resistance I had left. I couldn't hear the music anymore. Only my own breathing, shaky, shallow, stunned. They didn't rush. They explored. I'd forgotten what it felt like to be touched like that, like I was something worth waiting for. Not a chore, not a duty, but a desire. The blouse hit the floor. A kiss on the shoulder. Jay leaned in close again. "This isn't the first time I've wanted this." I laughed, nervous, breathless. "Don't talk, just do it." They understood. No questions, no pressure, no more words. My body wasn't just a tool for housework anymore. Not just a mother's body, not a tired husband's afterthought. It became mine again, a place I could come alive. Never in my life did I think I'd be here, between two men from a past life. But every nerve inside me lit up, every touch, every stare, every breath, like gasoline on a fire that never really went out. When it was over, I just lay there, listening to my heartbeat. Tom brought me a glass of water. Jay fixed a strand of my hair in the mirror. No one said "I love you." No promises were made, just understanding. I got dressed, touched up my lipstick, smiled, and walked out of that hotel room a different woman. Not guilty, just more honest with myself. I got home just before sunrise. Eric, my husband, was still asleep, back turned to me like always. I looked at him, and I didn't feel hurt anymore, just distant. I stepped into the bathroom. Cold water. I washed off the smell of men, but I couldn't wash off whatever had just awakened inside me. Next morning, I tied my hair up. put on a little lipstick. Not for anyone, just for me, but Tom noticed. His eyes caught mine, like he knew how alive I'd been the night before. We didn't text, we didn't call, but a week later, Tom messaged. "Jay's flying in this weekend, same place. You coming?" I read it. My hands shook, but my heart pounded. Another lie. Another small bag of clothes tossed into my trunk. Another night in that same room, curtains drawn, lights dim and golden. But this time, it was different. Stronger, wilder. No more tiptoeing around desire. No more pretending. It was real. It was raw. Jay whispered into my neck. "Remember this spot?" I nodded. My body remembered everything. We tried things we'd never dared before. I led. They followed. And for the first time, I wasn't someone's wife. I was in charge of my own story. The night stretched long, like it didn't want to end. And when I stood in front of the mirror, fixing my hair, Tom came up behind me and said softly, "You're like a flame between two frozen men." I didn't know what to say. But for the first time in years, I felt alive. I drove home through morning fog. Eric was making coffee. He didn't ask anything. I poured myself a cup, drank it like nothing had happened. We still ate breakfast together, still talked about groceries, bills, the kids' schedules, but no one mentioned love. No one asked, "Do you still love me?" I don't blame Eric. He didn't do anything wrong. We just faded. Bit by bit, day by day. Silence. That's what kills a marriage. The next week, Tom texted again. "Jay wants to see you." Me too. I didn't hesitate. Didn't even think. I needed it. Needed to be looked at, touched, wanted. This time the room was different. Darker. More hidden. Like the very thing we were doing. Jay kissed me the moment the door shut. No words. No questions. I melted in their arms. No fear. No shame. We weren't strangers anymore. Our bodies knew each other. No need for talking. Just breath. And the way a single touch could make me forget my own name. Tom whispered, "You know we crossed the line a long time ago, right?" I nodded. I knew, but I didn't step back. I wanted them. Not for love, but because with them, I existed. Not as a mom, not as a wife, just a woman. Later, we laid there together. Jay ran his fingers through my hair. Tom held my hand. No one said a word, but I could hear it. The sound of something cracking inside me. I knew this wouldn't last. But I still showed up. Still dove in head first, like a moth flying into the only flame left in the dark. Then it all just ended. Jay got transferred to another state. Tom started seeing someone else, Elise. She was soft, predictable, the kind who never cheats. The texts came less and less, then stopped. I didn't cry, didn't beg. Just slowly deleted the messages, the photos, like sealing a box full of fire. One afternoon, folding my son's t-shirt, my hands stopped. My chest tightened. I saw myself. A good mother, a decent wife, but empty, like a dress left hanging out in the sun. Pretty, but no one ever wears it. Eric was still there, still taking the kids to school, still sleeping beside me. But between us, an ocean of silence. I never told him. He wouldn't understand. And honestly, I didn't want to destroy what little was left. That night, he turned away from me, Same as always. I laid still, eyes wide open, remembering that old motel room, Jay's eyes, Tom's laugh, the feeling of being flesh and blood again, of being someone worth desiring. I didn't feel guilty, just sad. Sad that I let myself rot before I dared to feel alive again. Sometimes, on nights that are too quiet, I swear I hear their voices in the wind. Is that all we were? I ask myself. Yeah. Just a few nights. Just the three of us. Just a few burn marks. But enough to make sure I'd never be the same again. The next morning, I put on red lipstick, wore a dress I rarely dared to wear. Eric looked at me, a little surprised but didn't say anything. I smiled, and for the first time in years, I felt alive. If you've ever felt like just a shadow in your own life, stick around. The stories that come next might hit closer to home than you think. Subscribe to the channel. Don't miss what's waiting behind the closed doors.